in what ways can you make your routine less harmful to you, others, and the environment? And that's really difficult. That takes a lot of thinking, but it's not impossible. Hello, and welcome to Mercury Rising. This is me, Joe G. Welcome to another Keeping Up with the Moon, my daily horoscopic series that focuses on what the moon is doing and how can she possibly be affecting us? Like always, all of these delineations are also in my Instagram and my Facebook at AstroBoyJoeG. They're more so so you can read it really quick and think about it and kind of just like navigate your day a little bit more mindful of what's going on in like a symbolic and a cosmic level, I guess. But yes, without further ado, this is August 5th. Oh, cool. So, August 5th, here we go. I really do like today and what the moon is up to, just because we'll ignore Mars, but we have Venus and Uranus trying to one another. And as we've been talking about for the past few days, Venus in Virgo is not feeling comfortable and at home. She struggles a little bit to carry out the significations that she usually likes to carry out, such as love, union, and all of that. And on top of that, we also have the Lilith in Gemini, making conversations and opposing views a lot harder to be reconciled. From this time from Venus to Uranus, which actually really happened a few days back, but the only reason why I'm mentioning it only today is that the moon is actually going to sit right in between that aspect. And because the moon is sitting right in between it, she will actually be forming a sextile with both Uranus and Venus. And these are all really nice and harmonious aspects, and it's nice to have all of them together. Going back to when the moon was in Taurus and when we were talking about this idea of charity and giving and doing all of those, I don't think I spoke too much about Uranus and what role Uranus had in this whole ordeal, but now I think it's time to really address it. I think with Uranus representing innovation, technology, and all of those things that are really very modern and very cool, and with Uranus representing all that, trying to Venus, who is trying to really perfect and hone a craft, even though she might not be the best for like the relational matters that she's good and well known for. I think that this is the time to really come up with new ways of like tending to your daily needs. One thing that I always think about with Virgo is that Virgo is so good at paying attention to what's going on in the mind and organizing all of that the daily routine is such a thing that Virgo excels at. And with Venus in there trying to Uranus, I think this is really like a good time to revisit the daily routine, especially as we're entering a new cycle and probably like the next 3 days. It's good to like really get organized. Don't worry too much about like people and getting social and hanging out with everybody. I think right now is let's get our shit together time. So quick intermission just because I was kind of dumb. But yes, reorganizing the schedule seems like a good idea, but I failed to notice that Uranus is not so much about being organized. So I think that a better way to put this is getting organized or reorganizing the schedule in a way that almost feels chaotic, because there's some good that can come out of that chaos, and that's the thing that I failed to take into account when looking at this particular transit. So just as I'm editing, I just wanted to add this bit. Yeah, like I still want to keep the idea of making things a little bit fresh, because I do think that Uranus does have that sense of like freshness, new originality embedded into it. But definitely don't play it safe. I don't think that this is this is the time to play it safe, especially with Uranus. So yes, I hope this is a good addition. Even if you consider the new moon happening in Leo too, with the self and identity soon becoming such a big focus of the public discourse. Before we get into the visibility, we really need to think about what we want people to see. And with the moon in Cancer being such a symbol of the home, family, and the things that we care for and we want to protect, I think this is a really good time to just sit and readdress. Okay, so these are all the things that I care for, and these are all the things that I think are worthy of my love, care, and protection. Are the ways that I'm caring for these things actually good? Am I doing a good job attending to these things? And am I doing that without harming others in any other way? And I feel like this idea of harm really brings me back to the whole concept of the wheel of fortune. There's always going to be suffering, and therefore there's always going to be harm. So it's not so much about like, let's not do harm at all, because I feel like, especially today, it's difficult to not do any sort of harm. You go to the grocery store and you buy, I don't know, red peppers, and they're covered in plastic, and that plastic is most definitely doing harm. But I think that now, especially if we're talking about Virgo, this is actually not an intentional example, but one that works really well. The one with the like doing groceries, because as you're doing groceries, you're getting things hopefully for yourself, your family, and the people that you love for, because you want to nourish them, and all of that fun stuff. Or nourish yourself too. With that being such a part of the routine, I guess with Uranus and Venus trying to one another and really embracing the moon in this like harmonious sort of thing, the goal of today is thinking in what ways can you make your routine less harmful to you, others, and the environment. And that's really difficult. That takes a lot of thinking, but it's not impossible. But also, one thing that needs to be stated with Venus and Virgo, we're all we're all a little bit prone to trying a little bit too hard. And this is why I bring back the whole Wheel of Fortune thing. There's always suffering, there's always glory. There's both of them. They spin around and round and round. Life goes up and down in waves, or whatever pretty metaphor you want to use to feel better about suffering. I bring that back because with Venus and Virgo, we might actually want to like totally ignore the wheel and make it a line and just stay in the perfect. So let's try not to do that, and let's try to be gentle with ourselves. With that said, I think there isn't much more to talk about this one, because the moon just entered Cancer and she's going to stay there for the next few days. So a few other triggers are going to be happening that will be much more important to talk to. So I won't get to those right now, but I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll talk about them, probably. Or the day after. Who knows? Yes. Bye.
I'd like to take this moment to thank and credit my teachers and people who have influenced me throughout my studies. These are also people who I may quote from time to time. Vadius Valens, Dimitra George, Patrick Watson, Firmicus Maternus, Dorotheus, Lisa Scheim, Austin Coppa, Kelly Surtees, Gemini Brett, Samuel Reynolds, Hermes, T. Susan Chang, Mel Meline, Chris Brennan, Saint Expedite, Gordon White, Connor Habib, and Eric L. Arnenson.